folks, E3 2011. I'm here with Tom Gault from Digital Extremes, lead designer on Darkness 2.
That's right, that's me.
Did I nail it? Did I get that part right? I always screw up titles.
No, you got it.
Tom, how you doing, sir?
Great.
Now, you're here showing off Darkness 2. Now, this is something that Digital Extremes has picked up from Starbreeze. What were your kind of main concerns coming in, taking over this game, that kind of a cult favorite, the original Darkness, picking up and taking the reins from Starbreeze?
Yeah, it was a huge job, actually, and we were really intimidated by it at first. Darkness was a great game. Starbreeze did an amazing job. And the big thing for us was trying to put our own spin on it without ruining what Starbreeze did with Darkness 1. I mean, that story was incredible. It was one of the best ones in any video game I've ever played. And so we just really wanted to do a job like Starbreeze did in combining narrative with action. And so that's what we've been focusing on, just making sure we have a really good first-person shooter that also tells an engaging story.
So let's set the stage here a little bit. What's going on with Jackie in Darkness 2?
Yeah, sure. So Darkness 1 ended after Jackie got revenge on his Uncle Paulie. He killed his Uncle Paulie, he became Don of the Franchetti crime family. So we start Darkness 2 years after that. Jackie's been the Don for 2 years. He's managed to keep the darkness bottled up inside for that time. He hasn't had to use it. Until at the beginning of our game, there's an attack at a restaurant. Someone put a hit out on Jackie, and he has to use his darkness powers to survive that hit. He's forced to do it. And at that point, you don't know who these men are. It's a strange group, there's a strange guy leading them, and there's a lot of questions that need to be answered. So throughout the game, Jackie tries to find out who these guys are. And as we revealed at E3 here, we find out that it's the Brotherhood. This is an ancient organization that wants to take the darkness from Jackie and to use it for themselves. And it's led by a man named Victor Valente.
So, we've seen some of the Brotherhood stuff there, and they obviously have some designs on the darkness itself. One of the things that didn't really get addressed that I'm a little curious about, though, Jackie's now the Don. How does that position kind of figure into the story and his role? Because it's definitely a much different position of power than what he was in the original game.
Yep, that's right. I can tell you that he's not taking subway trains to get around anymore. He has better modes of transportation. We're not really getting into that aspect of it, but something that people loved about the first game was kind of the open world nature of it. They like the ability to choose where you want to go. They like those downbeats in between missions where they could talk to characters, engage with them, and that's what really gave it its soul. It gave you the chance to learn who Jackie is through his interactions with, Jenny, Jimmy the Grape, Aunt Sarah, these people. So we've brought a lot of these characters back in, and you do get chances to engage with them and talk to them, but we're not really telling you about the dynamics of that yet.
Well, let's talk mechanics with the darkness and the way the Brotherhood now has figured out a way to combat the darkness.
Right, that's right. Yes, the Brotherhood's been around for a long time, thousands of years. So they know that to defeat the darkness, they need to use light. So these guys will throw flashbangs at you, and when you get hit by a flashbang, you can't use your darkness powers until you recover from the effects. They also have a guy who carries around a giant light cannon on his shoulder. So that's a really cool combat dynamic there, where you've got all these enemies shooting at you, so you want to kill them, but you also have this guy shining a light at you, so as long as he's alive, you can't use your powers. So there's an interesting dynamic there, and how you solve that combat puzzle is a big part of our gameplay. And that's where our quad wielding features in. If you want to use your demon arms, use quad wielding, you got to take out that light guy. And the demon arms allow you to slash guys when they're in close, so you can cut them in half if you want. You can juggle them, slash guys into the air, and then knock them off to the side. You can also grab objects in the environment and the enemies and use those as weapons. So one of my favorites is grabbing a car door to use as a shield. And then when you're done with it, you just whip it at a guy and you cut him in half, right? So it's kind of multi-purpose, and we have a lot of different objects in the environment that you can interact with and use them in combat. And when you combine that with your guns, and we also have a progression system that brings even more powers into the mix. So there's really a lot of tools at your disposal. You can progress your powers the way you want. You can choose to upgrade your weapons. We showed a power called gun channeling today.
That looked awesome. The gun channeling stuff looked like it was a lot of fun.
It's great fun, and it's really good for the guy that wants to use the guns, wants to shoot, but also can get engaged with the darkness powers a little bit there as well. So that really gives you some extra power. You can actually shoot through walls. You can see enemies through walls when you're using it. So it's a lot of fun to use.
So, still a contentious relationship between Jackie and the Darkness. You want to talk a little bit about the role of the Darkling?
Yeah, absolutely, yes. The Darkling's a really cool character. I mean, we wanted to really give him a lot of personality this time around. So we made him your sidekick. So you don't actually spawn him. He's there all the time. He runs around the world with you. So when you're in combat, he's helping you by pulling guys out of cover and holding them for you so you get an easy kill on them. But when you're not in combat, he kind of leads you along to the next objective. So if you idle in an area for too long, he'll go forward and kind of wave you forward to tell you which way to go. And beyond that, he also helps you with level objectives. So you saw in our demo today, he actually drives a fuel truck through a gate to smash it through so Jackie can then progress. So he's key for level progression. And then beyond that, he also has a very big role in the story. I can't tell you much about it yet, but it's great. So he has a personality, he matters, a gameplay perspective and from a narrative perspective as well.
Let's talk a little bit about the art style. It's a sharp-looking game. You guys have, clearly you're taking some inspiration from the Top Cow comic. But how do you kind of balance the not going too cartoony with that.
That's right, yeah, that was a challenge that our art team really faced, and they really iterated a long time on this. And it was just about creating enough color to really make everything pop, to really contrast, the dark elements of the game. It kind of adds a little bit of lightness to it, of brevity to it, and I think it makes it feel more alive, more vibrant. And when you juxtapose that against all the violence, I think it really feels good, and it feels like the comic books feel. So that I think we did a really good job at.
Excellent, Tom. Do you guys have a release date for this game just yet?
Yeah. So we're planning to release October 4th of this year on Xbox 360, PS3, and the PC.
Fantastic, Tom. Thank you so much for your time. Have a good show.
Awesome. Thank you very much.